The number one offense, Boston Celtics, versus the number one defense, Minnesota Timberwolves. After all of the pre-prep for the draft, still the game of the night at the end of the night. A couple of takeaways from a huge Minnesota win. First one to me, this Timberwolves defense is legit, Skeets. They held the Celtics to 101 points in regulation. That's their fewest this season. They went on to get 109 in OT, but who cares? They held the Celtics under 40% from the field for the first time this season, forced 18 turnovers, a season high for Boston, and the Celtics only hit 11 threes. That's their fewest this season.
Yeah.
Waking up this morning, now Boston sucks. They're all the way down in third for offensive rating, just based on last night, because the Timberwolves are a big team. Mike Conley's kind of the only guy who's normal size for his position, but everything else, sizable guys, 2 7-footers in Cat and Gobert. Gobert has been incredible to start the season. And then they have athleticism and playmaking on the defensive side of the ball. Anthony Edwards, we saw getting steals. Jaden McDaniels is one of the best defenders in the league, and he's really been weaponized early in the season. I mean, we're 2 weeks in. They're the best defense in the league. Who knows if they finish the season like that? But the fundamentals are there, and they definitely are tied in together and given quite the effort on that end of the ball. The other takeaway, Ant-Man was Giant Man in OT. He was pretty good in regulation. Anthony Edwards had 30 points. Some questionable shots, I would say, down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Just wanted to take step-back jumpers. They did not go in, but the Celtics kind of let him off the hook doing the exact same thing. But then he hit the Pym particles for the extra period. Scored 8 points in OT to the Celtics. 8 points, and it was takeover mode. He assisted Mike Conley on a 3 to put Minnesota up by 1, then 3 straight jumpers by Anthony Edwards after missing all those at the end of regulation. This was awesome to see. The building was completely hyped. It was like a play-in game there. They were going so crazy.
It was a loud crowd. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was like, what is this? The in-season tournament? This is amazing. It was awesome. You're right. He took over there in overtime. He even had a heat check airball 3 after he was feeling it. But 15 for 25 for Ant, 38 points, 9 boards, 7 assists, had the steal there. And then McDaniels, who obviously, or I forgot, missed a couple games to start this season. He's obviously back, and you're going to get elite defense, which he gave them, but then he's knocking down 4 threes, 8 of 18 overall for 20 points. And this was a game in which, Karl Anthony Towns fouls out early in overtime. And maybe it was a blessing in disguise for the Wolves. I mean, we got to get that guy a Mr. Temper Boy shirt.
Yeah,
Karl Anthony Towns throws a lot of little mini temper tantrums. Temper tantrums. From either a bad call or a missed, or somebody misses inside. He did it even when the Wolves, botched a play. I guess it was a rebound that they probably should have had and they gave up. But what a win here. Now taking down the Nuggets and the Celtics for the Wolves.
Yeah, they're the only team to have beaten the Nuggets, the only team to have beaten the Celtics. And yeah, Karl Anthony Towns definitely had a weird one. He just plays like... Even Jim Peterson says it on their broadcast. He just plays out of control offensively. Yeah. The way he drives in, he got that offensive foul for like a massive push-off and then fouled out just a couple of plays later. And then obviously the Timberwolves took over basically as soon as Towns went out, which was interesting to see. There's a lot of talk about will he be a trade target later on this season. Understandable considering the draft assets that Minnesota gave away to get Rudy Gobert, but the team is good right now. I would not personally trade Towns. He's still 7 feet tall. He still rebounds. He has had some shortcomings in the playoffs, no doubt about it. And maybe that's something in the future that they do. But the team is rolling, and it helps having 2 7-footers out there. Even though Towns is not a great defensive player, the size that he brings alongside Naz Reid coming off the bench, it's great to have a guy like Naz Reid when you have foul trouble for Karl Anthony Towns.
It's sort of insane the Wolves won this game despite their 2 7-footers shooting a combined 2 for 11 at the free throw line.
Yeah.
Towns didn't shoot one.
Nah.
He was an 0 for 0. 0% or 100%. Depends on how you look at it. Gobert shot 2 for 11 at the line. I don't want to bury the guy here because he's been really, really good. Was really good in this game. 14 points, 12 boards. That's what he's out there to do. Obviously, defense. Didn't miss a shot, but 2 for 11. What are you, Chris Dudley? I mean, that's some crazy numbers. He's not that bad usually at the line, but Wild, they pulled it out. Ant took over, and it was just special when the place was going insane. That was an awesome crowd, man. They are just ready for any small taste of success there. Even a big win over a previously unbeaten team there in Boston feels, like you said, like a play-in game or a playoff moment.
They've had slow starts the past couple of seasons, even before Gobert got there, just kind of getting derailed at the start of the season, have to put it all together heading into the play-in tournament or into the playoffs. If they're able to actually play good basketball for the entirety of the season, there's a chance they host a playoff series, I think.